evening. It's day number 218. 300. Wow, 318 of 365 days of awesome. Celebrate success through service. And it's my honor, actually. It's a true honor to have our service hero today. Someone that I met not long ago, and you're going to absolutely understand how inspiring this woman truly is. She's inspired me. And we're going to go over the series of events that kind of brought us together. And from now on, I hope never, us do part, because I absolutely love this woman. Many of you know her. She doesn't need a lot of explanation, because in many circles, you guys know how amazing RaeAnn Gardner is. So welcome, great RaeAnn. And
thank you.
Thank you for being such an amazing service hero for so many.
Oh, I'm just so honored you asked me to be on the show. I'm so grateful, and so grateful that we met in person.
Oh, you and me both. In fact, okay, we already have people showing up. So, I'm going to say hello to everybody. And so I don't get too far behind, because I have a feeling we're going to be talking and diving into some really cool stuff. And who knows? I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of people showing up too. So we've got Carol. And we have have Helene. Now, Carol let's go back to Carol. Carol is one of our Chemo Buddy for Life ambassadors, and a shout out to Carol right now, because she has become and has accepted the role to become our co-producer, basically in charge, the lead for our Giving Tuesday Chemo Buddy for Life Healing Through Connections 24-hour telethon. It's going to be an incredible event, and Carol has agreed to take on the responsibility of being really in charge. She and I are co-producing it, and you know how busy I am these days, so let's just be real. She's going to be running it. And so anybody that is interested in being involved in that, let us know. We're going to be having our first meeting this coming Wednesday. So thank you, Carol. And we've got Helene. Helene, one of our Chemo Buddies for Life. I'm so glad you're here today. This is going to be a special show for Helene. Thank you for being here, Helene. And, the feedback is horrible. Oh. Let's see if that's what it is. I had my fan going. Let us know if I'm not hearing any feedback. Please, others, let us know too. And if that didn't change it, I'm turning my fan back on. Okay, Hermilo. Good. Hermilo is such a supportive gentleman. He supports everything about Chemo Buddies and the next Impactor program when I was running. Just amazing. Awesome. I appreciate you. And how we have Amy Morrison, one of our.
Hello, Amy.
You have sound. Yeah, I have sound. Are you guys not hearing it? Oh, it's a lot better now. Okay.
I have sound too.
Okay, can you guys start out? Okay, we're starting over.
Let's start over.
Okay, I don't have my little thing. Okay, we're going to pretend like I got our thing. Take two. All right. Good evening. It's day number 318 of 365 days of awesome. Celebrate success through service. And if you already heard this before, yes, we are doing a take two because we were having some problems with our sound. I want to welcome our service hero today, someone that I am honored to have with us, someone that has an inspiring story, a spirit and an energy and a heart that is infinite. It is as large as all outdoors, and I am just so excited to have you with us. I'm excited to have got to say, that again. And Amy, thank you for asking us to start over. Still, no sound for you. Okay, but the sound is okay. Okay, so go, Tamara. All right, we're here. Okay, we're caught up. Let us know if there's any problems, guys. But we're going to keep going. Now, RaeAnn, we met because, and I just love this story. We're going to start here, and then we're going to kind of go backwards a little bit. But we met at the next Impactor, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
and we met. It was just kind of cool because it was in our dear friend Mikey Adam Cohen style, like, okay, things are crazy, things are okay, we're going here now. Now we're going there. Meet us over here. No, now we're gonna maybe go over here. And you're like, okay, where do I go? Just give me an address and I'll be there, right?
Yes. That was exactly it.
and for those of you that maybe don't know who Mike Adam Cohen is, he's there in the back between the two of us at the next Impactor event the next day. And that was just kind of like that just started off the whole weekend, right?
It did. I love Mikey, and he made the best roommate ever. Ever.
Well, wait a minute. We were roommates.
We were.
For the very first night.
And I saw you sleep, so I am a witness that you do sleep.
Every once in a while, for a few minutes.
I saw it. Right. Just a little bit.
I think we got an hour or two that night, right? By the time we finally got in at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and had to be up at whatever time.
It was craziness, and we were walking in circles because we're the same. We need everything in order, and it wasn't.
And it was the middle of the night, and we were both like, okay, we've been up for over 24 hours now, and we need to get going. So, okay, so other ones have found, okay, I do not, okay, all is good for Hermilo, and Carol is okay. However, Amy's having problems. Okay, Amy, we will see you. Thank you for being here. If you check back with us, maybe, love you, because we're going to be talking about you. You were there.
Yes,
it's all good. It's all good. So we met literally like on the go.
Yes.
You decided, and it was pretty much a last minute decision, wasn't it, to come to the next Impactor?
It was a series of mini miracles, is what I call it, that to get me there to Chicago. I got a ticket from Misty Lane for my birthday, and she had offered it to me, and at that time I was like, there's no way, and then I just threw it up into God and the universe and said, if this is going to happen, many miracles need to happen to make it happen. So I'm really glad it worked out.
Okay, I have to share this. Carol is saying, thank you for letting us know she sleeps.
She does, just a little bit. It's a little bit, but she does. I witnessed it.
She actually said that. She's like, I can actually attest to this, and I'm going to. And what was one of the first things? That's so funny.
Yeah.
And I will say, I had this discussion with one of our newest ambassadors, Christopher Kaysen, who has just joined the team Chemo Buddy for Life ambassador team with Healing Through Art. Yes, he's so amazing. And we were having this discussion about self-care, and you and I are actually going to be talking about this some today. And so the whole idea of the sleep, it might be a bit of a joke, but it's something. When I came home from Chicago, I realized I needed to start looking at a little clearer and with better, with open eyes, because what we are now going forward with is a marathon to change the world. And so it's something that you need to be in it to win it, but you need to be in it for the long term to win it, because we've got to build it foundationally strong. And so, we joke about this, but it's something that has been on. Many people have been contacting me, and I am listening to all of you, and that is my public awareness message. Okay, so let's continue.
Funny.
So,
am I too dark? Should I turn on a light? Sorry.
No, you look great.
Am I good? Okay.
Yeah, you're great. Okay. You're great. If anybody else, and self-care is important. Yeah, you're right, Carol, and it is. And I am taking it very serious. I've promised a few of our ambassadors that have contacted me personally. All right, so you had Misty Lane, who we love, and we're going to be making some announcements about how she's going to be helping Chemo Buddies for Life here soon. She's going to be joining our team too, and she's kind of unofficially already done that. She gifts you the ticket, and then you also follow someone in the morning, right? That gets up at dark 30.
Craziness, yes. Yes, Jason.
Jason. And there was a little bit of that, right, too, in some of the things that he said that helped to spur you on?
Absolutely. Jason and I met about 2.5 years ago. A very special person to me in my life. I always say he sees me. And once you have been seen by Jason, I always say you better do something with it. So he was very important. And I was excited to show up and be there and see him.
Well, we're getting compliments, so I'm going to say something. Okay, you both look good. Thank you very much. And then Carol says, and thank you, Helene, my chemo buddy that I love. And then Carol is saying, you both look gorgeous.
Oh, well, thank you.
Let's go with that.
Yeah,
it's
I like
a Saturday
that.
afternoon, and we're having some fun. So Jason, he kind of like, he sees you, and he was encouraging. You knew that he would be there, and this would be an opportunity for you to be able to not only have a photo op, but to really be seen in person and have some moments.
And very special moments with Jason, and I will hold them dear. Very special memories made just by seeing him in person. I've only seen him now. That was, I believe, the third time in all this time. And so to be able to show up and to see him, someone who inspires and motivates and kind of kicks you in the butt every day, you know? So to be able to have a one-on-one conversation or anything, it was just really special, and memories were made, and it's just my thing. I love him. I love Jason. I appreciate his friendship, mentorship, leadership, everything. Yeah.
All of the above. And now that he's become my coach, he wasn't my coach through the Next Impactor, Coach Todd Special was, but now that I won, I get to work with all 5 of the coaches. Actually, I have 6 of them from the program, and wow, talk about fun and incredible. And I'm grateful for each one of them. I want them all to know that. And everybody that's here watching the show right now, I need you all to also understand that you may see me less to then later see me more, because we have to work the foundational. We are building something that is going global. They know it. They're helping us do it. We're building our teams. We're building Chemo Buddies for Life. You and I had a very good discussion about this yesterday.
We did.
And we are going to be doing this so foundationally strong that it takes a little bit of time. And we have to make sure that each piece is going forward right. And so if you see a little less of Tamara Hunter for a little while, just know that I am working my little tail end off for the program. Plus, I am concentrating on self-care. I will also share that too. Oh, we have more showing up. I love it. I love it. We have, let's see, it just jumped again. So I have to stay up on here. We have one of our newer service heroes. We have
hello,
and if it's both of you, hello to both of the top 2 of the top 5. So there's actually 6 winners in the top 5 from the Next Impactor, and Scott and Nancy Kiesling are also one of our newer service hero couples or duos, and so welcome. We also have Spencer Rose, and Spencer, I hope your new knee. I was thinking his knee. I hope your knee is doing better. I've been following his progress there. Trapper Rose. I'm not sure what he must be just saying someone should check us out and join us for the show. And you're welcome. Thank you for being here. All right, so let's continue. You have a story that I really want to cover, because the more I've gotten to know you, the more I've already told you this. It's like you're a soulmate. You're a sister from another mother. We think so much alike. We understand each other in so many ways, and yet we we come from two different places in the United States, and yet you come from an area that is around the corner where my original family started before it's coming to Southern California. And we figured that out, and it was like,
Yes, yes,
wow, I got to take a road trip or a plane ride.
yes,
Because
yes.
you are in Minnesota.
I am. I'm in Minnesota in a town called Elk River. It's a smaller town, about 35 minutes from the Twin Cities, uh, and we're west. And we always say that our city is halfway to cabin country because that's what we do here in Minnesota. People go up to their cabins
Right.
in the short amount of summer that we have.
Right. Right. Because we were talking about memories, and we were talking about, and I then went into the family history thing. I'm so into family history. You're really into creating memories. And I'm like, and I was talking about the fact that I have all of these buckets of family stuff I want to, process and get through. And we both love journaling and just all of it. And when you were saying that about cabins, and I'm thinking, oh, that's right. My family had a cabin by a lake out there, and there's all these pictures, and they're so cool because they're like the turn of the century, and not this latest turn of the century, but like, going into 1900. And you have the women in their long skirts and their boots, and yet they have their fishing poles, and and it's like the guys are in their suits and their ties, and they got their fishing poles. Like, and wow, that's a whole different dynamic.
Right, that is a very different, yeah. But that's what we do. We go up to cabin. My husband's aunt has a cabin, and we go up there, and that's where we celebrate Isabella's birthday every year, and we just enjoy it, and as much as we can for the short amount of time that Minnesota does have good weather or summer.
Yeah, you guys get a little bit of winter where you live, right?
Yeah, or a lot bit.
A lot bit. I like that. I'll have to look that one up on Urban Legends or whatever they call that. A lot bit.
Yeah, a lot bit.
It's a Minnesota thing, guys.
It
is. So, okay. It is. Now, your story is that you had this amazing career going on. You loved your career. You just, one of those kind of things that so many people don't really, but you really had found your niche. You just were living your, if you will, dream, right? Why don't you tell us a little bit about that so we can paint the picture?
Sure. I worked for the city of Elk River for 23 and a half years, and I started out part-time front desk for the Parks and Recreation Department. And then I ended up working my way up into the marketing position for Parks and Rec. And then eventually I worked my way up to the communications coordinator, which was just a department created to put me into for the city. So I was able to work and get myself all the way up there. I worked for 23 and a half years, which was just a little over half my life at the time, which is just crazy. But I grew up there, and I learned so much there, and I don't regret anything. Even, the struggles there were all lessons. I see it as all a blessing. Yeah.
Right. We talked about that. You can look at those kind of like life experiences, because life is an experience, and you can look at it, and you can look at it for what it is teaching us, or we can feel sorry for ourselves, but it's a choice, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So then, okay, so you have this amazing career, and you're doing things like we were talking yesterday. You were branding the city, and you were coming up with ideas on even how to. I mean, guys, have you ever seen those really cute little towns that they got the flags off of the light poles, and then everything seems to like coordinate, and you're like, oh, isn't this like a Hallmark movie kind of thing? And you helped to make that happen in your city, right?
I did. I was able to be creative, and to put my work out there, and then also have a voice on projects that were going around in all the different departments. I got to touch every little corner of this city, which is just such a blessing. And so I always say my essence is still here. Oh, 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 my heart. That's my former fire chief, T. John Cunningham. And up on that other picture, that's his fiance, Ben, and our friend Sam. And well, now husband, I should say, just went to the reception.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, I'm so happy for them. We went through quite the experience together. He changed my life. It was a moment at work that changed me and excelled me and pushed me outside of my box, out of my comfort zone. And yeah, I'm just very grateful for him.
And isn't this, no, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this the what led you to then meet someone that we both know in common? And she talks about this story a lot. And in fact, when we put this all together, I was almost jumping up and down saying, oh, I know this story. Grandma Sparky tells it all the time. And you, I was like almost hyperventilating, like, oh wow. Okay, so and many of you know who we're talking about. We're talking about Grandma Sparky and, you know, the Bing cities and the Bing, you know, and that spark with it and everything. But there's a big story here, and it has to do with who you were just visiting about, right?
And the chief, yes, right, with the fire chief, yes. With the fire chief. Do you want me to tell that a little bit?
Yeah, why don't we do that? Because now this is the fire chief, right? I want to make sure
that's the fire chief, the former fire chief of Elk River. He's now moved on to a different city. His name is T. John Cunningham. He goes by John, or Chief. I call him Chief.
They usually do.
Yeah. And while working for the city of Elk River, I handled all the websites, social media, all of those things. And we had an event that happened where we lost a police officer. And we lost him when he was done with his shift. And him and his son were killed by his youngest son. And it was such a shocking experience that threw me into something I could have never trained for. I could have never imagined. I couldn't have been trained for what happened. And what happened for me, being in control of those social media, when you lose a police officer, it doesn't matter who he was, the hatred and the ugly that's in the world that I had no idea existed came out in full force. And it was crushing, but my mission was that I was the keeper of the gate, and none of these messages were going to be seen by anybody, especially his family and his work family. And it was my mission where I ended up with 2 phones and a computer, and until a small intervention happened with the fire chief where he saw what was happening, where I wasn't stopping. I was 24/7. I never put those phones down. And he did an intervention, and then it ended up where I was in a room. I picked one employee, Abra, who forever has my heart because of what we went through together in that room. And we were, sequestered, I guess, there until after the police officer's funeral. And the police officer that passed away is Officer Todd Besser. And I'm so grateful for him and his service and for what happened through his death, just what happened in my life and how it excelled it. And I'm forever grateful. In fact, I just visited his gravesite a couple days ago, just to write in the journal and to say thank you again. And it's just, yeah. And so at the end.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more, because I'm sure they're like, okay.
Oh my gosh, there's so much to tell, right? It was a very difficult time where I forgot what being human was. you go into such a automated mode and you forget what being human is. And like Chief would bring in his dog Liberty, who comes from Iraq, and she would just, I think she's a border collie. She's just beautiful. And she just came and she jumped right on me, and I ended up on the floor with her with my arm around her. Because I was like, I needed connection, because I needed to feel human again, because you're so in it. And there are so many memories of sounds and things that happened, and I could go on and on. At the funeral, we'll just go to the funeral. I walked up with Abra to Officer Besser's casket, and when I got up there, I stood there, and it was like a tidal wave came and smacked me in the back and threw me of all the emotion that I held in, all the emotion I didn't allow myself to feel. And it hit me so hard, I almost fell to my knees. And we're in a big auditorium gym, and I remember looking to the door and going, oh my gosh, it's so far. How am I going to get to the door? And there's all these dignitaries, and I don't want to lose it. By a miracle, I made it to the door. I did lose it after that. And so many people just comforting me, and I couldn't control the emotion that I felt, because it just all came through me. And after the funeral, and there were so many moments within the funeral, the sounds of the rain hitting the stiff uniforms, of the police officers and the firefighters. And I was standing next to Chief, and he pushes me under the tent, and he stays halfway out, and you could hear the tap, 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 tap of the rain as the heavens opened up when they were going to bury him. And he wiped away tears with his white glove. There's so many memories that I have that were so special and that I hold so dear. And at the end, it was like the Tuesday afterwards. I remember, it's government. You're filling out tons and tons of reports. And he came in, and he turned my chair, and we sat knee to knee. And I'm like, Chief, I just don't know. Did I do enough? Did I catch it all? Did I protect it all? Did I protect the people from this evil that we saw? And I just didn't know. I just felt lost. I kind of felt overwhelmed, and the emotion was so raw in there. And I still hadn't been back with my family quite yet. And so I was having a hard time. And he said, just a minute. And he left the room, and he came back with this white sealed envelope. And so he says, you did do enough. Got up. We gave each other a hug for a long time. And then he says, you take this envelope home. First, you spend time with your family. And then when you have a chance by yourself, open this up. And I held that envelope, like walking to the car, like I know something big is in here that's about to change my life. And I held it just like knowing that, feeling it. And so when I did get to open it, I pulled it open, and on top of the letter, paper clipped, was a blue ribbon that says, who I am makes a difference. And that blue ribbon changed my entire life. In that moment, I finally realized at 42 years old that I made a difference, that I did something to make a difference, and that I mattered. It literally filled my soul that I mattered for the first time. And it changed my life. I ended up training under Sparky for the Blue Ribbon, and I'm now a Blue Ribbon ambassador, and ended up traveling to California wearing a sari for her birthday, and going through that picture there is the training that Sparky had. And there were incredible, talented people in that room, and I knew the power of the people. I could feel it. I didn't know who they were. And so, Helene, thank you. Oh my gosh.
Oh, there's so many comments, and I just don't want to be interrupting the story, because like tears coming down my eyes right now. And so So you met Sparky.
Well, let me go back a little bit.
Because I want to go back to the letter.
The letter, yes. The letter explained how Chief received his blue ribbon. And Chief and his partner, firefighter partner Dominic, were walking away. They actually worked the pile in Ground Zero. Oh my gosh, that picture, you guys, and that was at his reception. I got to meet Dominic for the first time after all these years. So we were all together. I got goosebumps. I love that picture. The chief and Dominic worked Ground Zero. And after a really hard shift and the night shift was coming on, they were walking the streets and everything was barricaded off. It was really quiet, but they rounded a corner. And when they rounded the corner, there was thousands of people behind the barricades. And they all started cheering and clapping. And they looked around like, why are they cheering and clapping? Well, they were sending love to them. And a little girl broke away from the barricade. And she ran up to them and hugged each of them and handed them a blue ribbon that says, "Who I am makes a difference." Mm-hmm. And that ribbon changed both Chief and Dominic's life forever. Mm-hmm. And so it was a complete honor that Chief blessed me with the ribbon. That means so much. And it's just such an amazing story. It's just like full circle. And when I put that blue ribbon away for a year in a memory box. Mm-hmm. And I didn't take it out. And I went to Officer Besser's memorial walk. And when I was walking, there's pictures of him. And I just remember meditating on every moment that I had before he passed away and then after he passed away. And I thought to myself, why is that blue ribbon in a box? Why is it in a box? And so I went home and I bought a frame and glittery background paper, and it's in a frame. And it sat on my desk at work. It's here at home. And that ribbon meant so much to me. Well, I noticed a little website on the ribbon for the first time ever at work, and I decided to send a 2-paragraph email. And I had no idea who I was sending this email to, which is just crazy. And I sent it, and the day after I sent it, I got an email, and then my phone was ringing, and it said California. I'm like, I do not want to deal with a telemarketer. I didn't.
Not everybody that lives in California is a telemarketer.
I don't deal with anybody in California. I'm in Elk River, Minnesota now. And she left a message. She's like, call me, you know, and it was Grandma Sparky. And when I picked up the phone, I'm like, who is this lady? And she's like, I'm Grandma Sparky. And I'm like, okay. She's like, you sent an email, and I'm the creator of the blue ribbon. I almost fell off my chair. I was like, what? And then she says, does it happen to be, I didn't use any names in my little 2-paragraph email. And she goes, does the chief happen to be T. John Cunningham? And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I'm like, what? How do you know? And she's like, because he sent me a letter on the 10-year anniversary of 9/11 telling me the story and how it changed his life. And I gave the little girl those ribbons because she had lost a relative in the towers. So it's just amazing. And that just started a new life for me.
So you follow your instinct like you did to go to the next Impactor. You are one that, and when I asked you about this, wow, you know, you're just like this amazing person that's just like, okay, I'm going to go. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to do this. And I'm like, and you guys are going to even understand this more in just a moment. And I'm like, when you told me the dates of what we're going to start talking about next, and I'm doing the math, and I'm like, how is it that you even physically how is it even possible that you're here? And your whole thing in life is get out there and make memories, right?
Keep making memories.
Yes, just do it.
Just do it, because life is short, and I believe at the end of our lives we're going to see this like movie of all the memories we created. So why not? Don't wait for the family vacations, don't wait for the big things. Take every day and find those moments throughout the entire day and create them. Create them and then make the memories, because that is what you're going to leave behind for the people who are left behind for you. Right?
Exactly. It's just like those family history, all of this stuff I've got to still work with. That's what I was talking to you about. It's like, okay, I feel this absolute push that I must do this, because they didn't have the technology that we have now to be able to share it going forward.
Yes.
And those memories are in our DNA somehow, and we can go on and on that one. Mm-hmm. We'll do that another time. Okay, so I want to now go forward and talk about why I was like, she nearly had to scoop my jaw off the floor when I was like, wait a minute, are you talking this year? Because at first when you were talking, I was thinking, oh, okay, that happened a while ago. Okay, and then I started doing, now remember the event, the evening of August the 30th. Now, we all traveled there, and you and I met on Wednesday, August the 28th.
Yes,
all right.
Correct.
Now, let's go to your birthday. Your birthday, you were given a birthday gift that you were excited about. Yes. And let's talk about that.
Okay. Misty Lane got a hold of me.
Oh, wait. No, not that birthday gift. We're going to
not that birthday. Okay, we're going to go a year before.
Yeah, we're the year before. Sorry to not be explaining this correct. I want to get to the event.
Okay.
Some of the things that took place in August, but we have to tell the story of your birthday the year before. Okay, so this last year, we're to thank you, Misty, for her gift this year, but your gift last year was equally really exciting, right?
Well, in a way, yes. Life-changing.
Life-changing. But when you heard what the gift was, that was an exciting gift, right?
Yeah, I was given a gift to go to a Minnesota Vikings preseason game. I'm a huge football fan, and I was so excited. And August 17th, my birthday was the Friday, and then we went and stayed in a hotel. And on Saturday, 9 of us piled into a limo, and we were heading down to the cities to the preseason Vikings game. And it was just it was a great time. We were all laughing and having a really good time. And we got to we're going to the Minnesota Vikings. And not only that, their new stadium, which is purple. You guys, purple. And we were going to be in a suite. And so we were downtown, and the limo was involved in a chain reaction car accident, and time kind of stood still. I don't remember much of the beginning of it. I guess my eyes were open, but I was not speaking. I ended up, long story short, with a traumatic brain injury and a lower back injury and a couple other things. And that moment changed my entire life again, in an instant. Because I am still dealing with a traumatic brain injury. I'm still dealing with a back injury. And along with that, I lost my career of 23 and a half years with the city. And all of a sudden I lost my identity. I lost who I was. I lost everything that I was so passionate about. And it wasn't by choice. And there's so much that happens with that. And I see it more clearly even now, how much happens when you lose that in yourself, and when you didn't have a choice in the situation, which I didn't. So, yeah.
Right. So So then it's a series of medical experiences. You go to the doctor, you have this, you do that, then you're in the hospital,
Yes.
then you're this, then you're that. And then, lo and behold, what happens?
So I ended up having to have back surgery, which is the last thing I thought I would ever have. I thought I was going in to see the surgeon to say, you're going to get shots in your back. An incredible surgeon. We're so connected. He's a very quiet guy. And when he told me I have to have surgery, I just busted out in tears. My eyes got huge. He didn't know what to do. He actually ran out, grabbed a box of Kleenex, put it in my lap and said, you can take these home. It was just, it's very intense.
Oh, I love him.
He didn't know what to do. He's like patting my shoulder and he's like, I know, I'm a mess. I wasn't expecting it. And so on June 25th, I went in for lower back spinal surgery. Everything went pretty good. Probably I've been through a lot in my life medically. This body is a warrior and scarred and battered, but it's a warrior. And I've been through a lot, and that surgery, man, that really, I don't show pain a lot. I'm not one to express it. In fact, I get in trouble by doctors and nurses for not expressing it much. And it was the most painful thing I went through. And about 5 weeks into the healing process, I thought I was doing great. You know, I had my walker, which I called my wheeler, and I was walking around and following all the directions. And one night, I was here, and it was 10:30 about in my living room. And from one moment to the next, it's literally from one moment to the next, I felt fine. And then all of a sudden, my entire body was shaking out of control, and I couldn't stop it. And so Brian's wrapping me up in blankets. He put 4 heavy blankets on me. I'm still shaking. And we're like, what is going on? I said, right? Brian's my husband, yes. And I'm like, what's going on? My back kind of hurts, you know. And we had thought maybe I quit pain medication. I just quit. You're not supposed to do that. But I did. I'm stubborn. And we thought, like, I just quit. I was like, I'm done with that. And so I thought, maybe it's withdrawals, you know. So go to bed. Yeah. So we were looking up the symptoms, and we're like, yeah, maybe that's it. And I went to bed, and in the middle of the night, I woke up, and I knew something was wrong. I took my temperature. It was 102.9. I felt my wound in the back, you know, getting hot, and it started to feel like it was being pressured. And so I poked Brian. I said, Brian, I think I have to go to the emergency room. And he's like, can we just get a couple more hours of sleep? And I'm like, absolutely. And we fell back to sleep and didn't think anything of it. Got up with Isabella, our daughter. She's 9. And we went to the local hospital, which is, you know, like 30 minutes more north. And by the time we got there, I was just so sick. And when they put me in the wheelchair, Brian says, your back is wet. I'm like, what do you mean? And so I'm like, here's me, take a picture. I want to see what's going on, you know, and my wound had started to seep. And so everything happened very quickly. I was put in a small emergency room where I had to lay on my left side. So I was actually facing a wall, so I couldn't see anything. But they were taking blood, and all of a sudden the doctor would appear up over my head. And he's like, RaeAnn, we have a very serious situation here. We have to transport you immediately down to Abbott Northwestern in Minneapolis, where I had my original surgery. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, this is very serious. And so I had brought my blanket with me, my llama blanket, and I remember them putting me on the stretcher. Yes, my llama blanket. I brought it because I wanted comfort. I was cold. And they put that over me, and they put me in the ambulance. One thing I have to say, it was like the worst carnival horror ride of my life. I don't understand why ambulances don't have better shock systems or hovercrafts. They should be hovercrafts. Because
I know. I can in those too. Yeah. I can attest. Yep.
Every bump, every little thing, it hurt so bad. And the paramedic was so kind and rubbing my head, And I blacked out for some of it because the pain just got to be too much. And I would just pass out and come back to, and I'm like, is it over yet? Didn't complain much, but just like, really? And so ended up down at Abbott, and I still have a hard time like grasping what happened. I'm still processing. I just want to say that. But what ended up happening, I was hospitalized. I had an infection, and they didn't know what kind, so they were giving me just 2 bags at a time of different antibiotics to try to cover it. And I remember being put into my hospital room, and it was late. And I remember laying there and deciding I'm gonna try to go to sleep. And I kind of curled up around a pillow, and I closed my eyes. And what happened next is this is the part. What appeared in front of me was a table with 2 choices. And the first choice was to close my eyes, and they would stay closed, and I would go to a place so full of love, so full of no pain, just love and light. And that was one of the choices, to just close my eyes. The other choice on the table was to fight. And to fight, it would be very painful. It would challenge me in every part of my life. And those were the 2 choices laid before me. And for like a nanosecond, I thought closing the eyes would take away everything, take away all the stress and the insecurity and losing the security of income and all that. And then my daughter's face appeared in front of me. And Isabella is our miracle baby. It took us 13 years to have her. And she appeared in front of me, and I thought, I fought to have her. I fought to bring her into this world, and I had to go through a lot to get her here. And then the decision was made. I'm going to fight. And in that instant, everything was gone. I opened my eyes. I'm in my hospital bed. And then I'm like, the searing pain was so overwhelming. And then I remember nurses, when they would change the IV bag, say, keep fighting. They kept saying that to me, keep fighting. And I'm like, okay, I'm fighting. And I didn't know until the 3rd day that I did, in fact, have a major infection. I had to go back into surgery where Dr. Naguib had to fix everything up. It was bad. And I could have lost, first of all, the reason why I had to have the surgery was because I would have become paralyzed and lose bowel and bladder control. That's why the surgery had to happen. The infection could have caused the same exact result. And they finally figured out what it was, an antibiotic to fix it. And I spent 6 days in the hospital. And there's one other thing I want to mention, because this is really important to me to tell everybody. I was a person, I'm a joyful person. I try to find laughter in everything. Even in the hospital, in the worst moments, I was like, find laughter, find joy. I had nurses dancing into my room, and just excitement, and if it was just, amazing things happened. But my belief is the reason why I got so sick with an infection was because I was filled with so much anger that I didn't even know how angry I was. And it was in every cell of my body. And the anger came from dealing with insurance companies that drop you and don't pay you because a doctor says you're perfectly fine. It was my husband was in a car accident a year before mine, has a traumatic brain injury, and also lost his job. So there's so much that built up. And I have a friend, and he's kind of in these circles. His name is Mohammed, and he's from India. And he started messaging me these very inspirational, strong messages, right? It ended up I'm so blessed by his soul because he was patient with me and he allowed me the space to let out all that anger, every drop of it. And he helped heal me from the anger that was inside of me. That was his soul wanted to do that for me. And when I tell Brian about it, he's like, I couldn't do that. My soul couldn't heal you because we're too close. And I take it out on the ones you love the most, right? And so I was so filled with anger that I believe that caused the infection. I believe that because once I released everything, I have no anger in me, and I'm so blessed by the people in the tribe that shows up. There's a guy in India that shows up out of the tribe to help me. These are miracles. These are miracles.
They are.
And
they are.
so I ended up coming home, and I do have a PICC line that goes to my heart, and I infuse antibiotics every 8 hours. And that's where, I was at home on my birthday this year when Misty Lane reached out and said, I have a ticket for you for the next Impactor. And I've been watching everybody, little pieces, and I'm being so inspired by watching the change of everybody, and it was just, I felt like I was a part of it because I was going to be a part of it and had to pull out. And when she offered that, it was like, I'm so sick. How is it even possible I can make this happen? But it gave me something. It gave me a gift. And I immediately went to my journal, started to write down goals. And I knew that I had to leave it up to God and the universe to make this happen. And every piece just laid into place. From the airline ticket, I had enough points. I paid $19.
Wow.
Because remember, I don't have income coming into our home. And so it would take miracles to get this to happen. And so the airline ticket being practically free. Then finding the dress, right?
Oh, your dress is beautiful. Okay, what I want to do before we move on to this, I want you to tell everybody the name of the infection.
It was a staph infection. I can't remember there's a long piece after it, but if you know me, I love the color purple. And when I looked up the infection, it actually shows up as purple. They look like purple little grapes, clusters.
And the reason I wanted to do that, because there's some people here that have been infected or had issues with it, we sometimes our bodies do this, and it might not be the primary issue. It might be secondary, like your primary issue was the accident, the lower back situation, the wound, the surgery, all of this. But infections can come and go, and infections sometimes be the bigger thing in the end. And so I know that there would be some that would be interested to know, and so I just wanted to make sure that we at least asked that. All right, so a purple infection.
Purple infection. And I mention the 3 doctors around my bed. Did I mention that? Okay. So on the 3rd day in the hospital, 3 of the doctors out of 5, I had 5, there were teams, stood around my bed. And for the first time told me that I was hours away from losing my life. Hours.
Right.
And now you think about it, Brian and I went back to sleep.
Right.
We didn't go in right away. So I sat with that for 6 days in the hospital, hours away.
Right.
Hours away.
I want to recognize Helene is here, and Helene is sharing that, yes, her sister just died this last Sunday from sepsis. She and so I know that this is a story that is, I'm sure touching her, and we're sharing the attitude here too, because I want to go forward with the dress. I want to go forward with dates, because when
Mm-hmm.
I put it all together, that's
Yeah.
when you had to scoop my jaw off the floor, guys. You guys are seeing what I'm talking about, inspirational
Yes.
woman. Okay, so you said 6 weeks out. Okay, from the original surgery date. Surgery date was in the
Yes.
summer.
Yes. So
You were in the hospital when?
August 3rd is when the night I got sick. August 4th is when I was in the hospital. And August 5th is when they took me back into surgery. And then I got out on the 9th, I believe, a very late at night, because they had to set up home infusions and have a medical delivery at our house at midnight so I could go home. And so August 3rd is when it started. August 9th is when I got out of the hospital.
And you traveled to Chicago on August the 28th, the
Yes.
same month.
Yes.
With your, and you brought all your medical supplies. Some had to be FedEx to the hospital. And
So,
you were and we, and that was one of the things when we were doing our circle dance around the room, like, okay, we got to get everything organized, and yeah, it's in the middle of the night, and you're like, okay, and don't worry, because I have to get up in an hour or two, because I have to stay on track with the timing and that's when you were telling me about this, and I'm like,
yes, every 8 hours I have to infuse with the antibiotics. And yes, bringing them to the airport, being patted down and searched when you bring that kind of amount of medical supplies. It's a very interesting situation, but
okay,
an experience.
We got someone saying something here.
Oh, Jason, I love you.
I know she, and yeah, hashtag survivor. Absolutely, Christopher. Okay, so and Helene was talking about her sister and that she's crying right now, and
I'm just sending her so much love and light and prayers. She has been on my mind since another live that you mentioned that. So it touched me. It really hit me.
It did, story. And you actually told me this, and one of the things that, as we actually talked about this, and that was that there's so much hope, and when you tell the story about the table, I really want to go there again, because my mom talked about the same story that she had when she was in a car accident, and we won't go into it, but the same kind of situation. She could either make that decision to go, or she could stay, and she had a reason that she needed to stay. But it's a beautiful situation, right? It's so beautiful and so peaceful and so loving, and so much peace. That's what my mom had shared. So much peace involved with that.
My whole body's goosebumps every time I think about it, because there was peace, but there was light, and it was so loving. There was nothing bad about that choice. It was so loving, so embracing, so warm, and just almost calling, like, this is the way you could go.
Right. Yeah. And don't you want to? Because it's a really great, and it will be an easy decision, and it's not an easy decision to stay. At least that's what my mom had shared. Okay, so your dress. Let's talk about the dress, and then
dress.
And then we're going to finish up, because we, and we've got everybody. Okay, just like being. He says you just liked being patted down. Don't lie.
Oh yes,
the
Jason
is in the house. Okay.
I love you. Yes, I did enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh, you're making us laugh.
Making memories. That's right. Making memories.
And so let's go with that. So this dress was a showstopper. I mean, truly. I had a pretty dress, but your dress was show-stopping. So
thank you. Thank you.
welcome. So tell us
I
about
felt
this breath.
absolutely gorgeous and beautiful in it. Um, like I said, there's no income coming into the house. It had to be a series of small miracles. I will tell you that dress comes from Amazon and cost me $25.
Woo! Gotta love that.
That was a miracle, right? That was one of the things that had to fall into
You
place and
matched.
arrive on time.
You matched
I
the ball
matched
with
I
I mean,
matched the Bald Avenger. How? That was cool.
yeah, yeah. So now looking back on it, and really, since your full platform, should you decide to go forward with it, and you're looking at possibly going into second season, the next Impactor, and you are all about really letting people know that life is too short. Create the memories, right?
Create them every day. Every day there are moments in every single day. There's not a day that goes by that there are not memories that can be created through laughter, through smiling at someone, through looking up. Look up. Don't look at the floor. Don't look at the ground when you walk. Look up. It will change your life. Start to look people in the eye and say hello. I love doing this when I go to the hospital every week. I love doing it because people at the hospital want to look down. They're like, but you're like, no, you're going to look up. Come on. I'm going to smile. I'm going to say good morning. So,
And you brought that up, and actually I'm going to bring up two quotes here. One, and then we're going to actually end. I'm going to take this one down for a minute. But you say here, and you told the story about how things were not going well at the hospital, and you were kind to the tech, and the tech was like, what?
yeah, the tech was kind of shocked and actually thanked me for being patient, for smiling and having a good attitude because they were getting yelled at while I was waiting. And I could have been upset too. I had no plan of being there that long. But I was just like, what, okay, they're doing the best they can. And I'm going to sit here and have conversation and make the best of my time while other people around me were yelling. But she was just so grateful, after she drew my blood, and she was just like, I'm just so grateful for your good attitude. And that raises my vibration. That makes me happier and know that I'm doing the right thing.
Exactly. Now I'm looking here to make sure I've got the right one to end with. It's okay. I think it's this one. Is this one the one that you just recently posted? This is the one, I think.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so you you were all excited because you thought that, and you had told us that there was a good chance that you were going to be done here soon with the infusions and everything, and you kind of had that feeling. And this is not uncommon for my buddies community. We're constant. I learned that you got to have pencils. You never put anything in the calendar with a pen
You're
because
right. We use pencil too.
yeah, every single test, every single doctor visit, every single moment, anything can change when you're in a life and death situation with your health or something big, and you're still in a recovery process with something big, and you shared this. Why don't you kind of bring us up to date?
I shared that because I thought, I've been trying to do everything the doctors are telling me. One thing that I have learned out of all of this, and I'm just going to make this statement. Number one in my life right now, number one is healing. Because I have a ways to go. I didn't know I had more to go. I had a little hiccup, and I could let that hiccup bring me down, or I could just say, that's all right. It just means I could keep going, and they're going to make sure that it's taken care of. And so there's been some complications that have popped up since I came home from Chicago recently. And so trying to balance that, but to remember, this is not the end game. This is, number one is healing. And I'm excited about so many things. And I joined Jason's 12-week course, the G Spot By the way, every time I say that to my husband, he laughs, which creates more laughter. It's the best name ever until I come up with something for like better that I do, Jason. Anyway, but I need to do that course, and I will do that course, and I'm not going to start until I'm fully ready. And those are things that I wanted to jump in right now, and jump into the next Impactor. And now my doctors are kind of telling me maybe you have to step back. And that is not easy because I've already said, I want to do this. I want to do the next Impactor. I want to do all these things. And they're like, I'm stubborn. I'm sassy. And I kind of want to rush the process, right? You want to get to the end game. And now I'm realizing, no, it is a process. And that's why I put this quote up, because it is a journey, and I need to remember to stay in the place that I'm at, not to push myself too hard forward, because when I do that, I end up sliding backwards. And so I need to let go in those moments and just allow the healing process to happen. And if I lost all summer, I've kind of lost a year, but that's okay, because I'm still here. I'm still making memories. I'm still fighting. And there was, there's hiccups. There's hiccups. Life is a hiccup. The obstacles show up. It's your choice whether you go through it, learn from it, create from it. And that's what I'll be doing. But number one, I have to heal.
Exactly. And thank you for being so real and raw. And I want everybody to know I got permission to talk about this with her yesterday, because I wanted to make sure that we were, putting out a message. And I want to say thank you. We're going long today, and it's because this is important. This is very important for not only the Chemo Buddy for Life Healing Through Connections community, our buddies network, but anybody that's dealing in life, because life happens. And it's a matter, yes. And with Spencer, you're healing with your knee, and many of us are healing through things. And when you were talking about this, and what I want to share is that many of us have had those hiccups where we think, oh, now I'm almost released. I'm almost this. But, it's going to be another half a year. It's going to be another year. I'm not going to be done with everything for 2 more years. And you think, wow, 2 years, that's like infinity and beyond. And yet I've had to hear some of those words. And my mother heard some of those words. And look at, the situation today. It's 5 years this next week. It's 5 years this next Friday that I got the call that I needed to go in for testing. And that started everything. And then when I heard it, yes, deer in the headlight. Then I thought, oh, we'll be done with this. They said, oh, we'll be, you have to do this and that. And I'm like, okay, well, that goes out to how many months? And they're like, no, you don't understand. We're talking years. Years. And it took years. And we had delays, and we had hiccups. And it happens. Yet 5 years now, look. And if nothing else, I'm not trying to be all about Tamara, but what I'm trying to show is the inspiration that 5 years later, my team, or Tamara Hunter and Chemo Buddies for Life, and all of us have won the next Impactor.
Incredible.
That shows that anything is possible, because you know what? The one thing that both RaeAnn and I, when we talk about, we're cut from the same cloth, and we're, sisters from another mother, we both see these hiccups as opportunities. And our nurses, my nurses, your nurses, we compared this story, is that when they see this, what do they say? They know we're going to be okay. We're going to heal.
Yes. They kept
right?
telling me, and one said, "You're a warrior." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh. And my doctor, who's so quiet, and he would come in my room every day. And one day I woke up, he's standing there, he's like, "RaeAnn, and I've been in here 3 times and you weren't awake." I look at the clock, it's 4 a.m. I'm like, "It's 4 a.m." And he starts to laugh. And every time he walked out of my room, it was just like, really,
Doctor humor.
he would come very early. And every time he'd walk out of my room, he would not look at me, but he always said something like, "You are so beautiful," or "Your soul is so bright." And for doctors to say that, every time he walked out of that room, he left me a gift.
Yes.
He left me a gift that helped me to keep going,
Yes.
and the nurses were just fighting for me,
Yes.
they were my warriors too.
Yes.
It's amazing.
And I'm happy that you said that, because I want to recognize the frontline medical community that sometimes get a bun rap. I will be honest with you, and I listen to it a lot. However, you and I have both experienced some of the very best medical teams that there are out there, and they're out there, guys. If by chance you're not working with them, keep looking, keep fighting, work with the system. If you must, scream loud, whatever we need to do. And that's part of what Chemo Buddies for Life in the end. Just watch, guys. Wink, wink. We are going to change the way things are done. Do you hear me say that a lot? We are going to change the way cancer is done. And in doing that, it may actually help some other areas too. We're going to kick the power away. We're going to do that with sheer numbers and doing it the right way, because there's ways to do that. So I am so grateful for you, RaeAnn, and I can't even say thank you enough for being so real and raw. Thank you for being willing to tell your story. Thank you for sitting here for as long as we have. And we needed to be able to paint the full picture, because every single piece, including, going back to the blue ribbon, because the blue ribbon shows what it is that you see that is incredible, a gift within someone else, right? Do you want to, since you're an ambassador, do you want to just say something about that as we start to close?
I believe that everybody inside of them has so much to give, that we all have special gifts, and that we sometimes don't see it. It took me till I was 42. So one of my missions is letting people know young that who you are, who you were born to be, is inside of you, and you make a difference in this world. You are no lower or higher. We are all one, and we need to reach down to those who feel like they are lower and lift them up, because who we are, each one of us, everybody, makes a difference. We're here for a purpose.
That's right.
We all have it inside of us.
And I want to say thank you too, because look at this.
Oh, Helene, I'm sending you so much love. So much love. And
Helene, this show is for so many, but it's for you too.
Yeah.
We've talked about it.
Yeah.
And we wanted you to know you are loved, you are not alone, and that we are sharing the love. So thank you so much. And thank you, Helene, for sharing that. And Colleen Hatcher, you look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. That's my husband's Aunt Colleen.
I figured it had to be a family member or friend. All right, so, and what do you have any last? I mean, we've talked about so many things, and you've given so many pearls of wisdom, and yet, as we start to close this, is there anything that you would like to share? And I do want to say to everybody that I've already invited RaeAnn to be a part of the Chemo Buddy Coffee Club that we're going to be starting here soon. And she's going to be a guest on the show more than once, I'm sure. and we're not going to push her right now because she's still in a healing process. And we believe in healing. That's what our whole buddy thing is about. So we're not going to push. However, she has so much to share with us. So don't be thinking this is the last time you're going to see RaeAnn. She's already accepted that invitation, and thank you for that.
Yes. Oh, thank you for inviting me. I just want everyone to remember that every day is a choice. It's a choice to live, a choice to get up, a choice to run through or be stopped by the obstacles that are in front of you, and that you have so much within you. You just need to dig and find it. And if you can't find it, find the tribe that will surround you and help you remember and help you understand the power that you have inside of you.
That's beautiful. And don't forget to keep making the memories.
Keep making memories every single day.
Every day. Every day.
Every day, no matter what. No matter what. There are pieces, no matter what, you can find them. You can find them.
Yes, and you are that example, and you are a living, walking, talking, inspirational example of everything that's good in this world. And I just feel so honored to know you, my dear RaeAnn. So as we close day number 318 of 365 days of awesome, celebrate success through service. RaeAnn, you are truly a service hero extraordinaire. Your example of choosing to live, your example of finding the joy in the day, your example not only finding that joy, but deciding to make a memory out of it, like the memory of your amazing doctor, like the memory of looking up, the memories, so many memories. You've inspired me tonight again. And I know you've inspired so many others. Keep inspiring us. And however we can help you heal, we're here for you. The Chemo Buddy for Life community, consider us part of that tribe of yours.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me a space to tell my story for the first time. So thank you.
I did not know that this was your first time
out here. It's my first time telling it through me. I did document it through Facebook, through, posts, but this is detailed, and this is really what happened, So thank you. Thank you for allowing the space for me to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank all of you for staying with us, because so many did. And we have so many loving comments. Please go in there afterwards, RaeAnn, and see how much love was shared with you. And should anybody be looking for a community that cares, and if you know of anybody that in particular is dealing with cancer and they're feeling alone right now, we want them to know that Chemo Buddies for Life is growing. And if anybody is interested in serving, many have been coming to me, and I've got a list, and it's huge. I owe a lot of people phone calls, but I am touching each person with a personalized call, and it's going to take a little time because I want to visit with them, see what's going to work, and see how we can serve together to make a difference in this world. So please have patience with me, because you will get the same love that everybody else is currently getting as I go down the list. So thank you so very much, RaeAnn, for everything you're doing, and thank you everybody for being here. We will see you again tomorrow. Bye.
All right. Good night.